Hi, my name is Whitney Evans, and my research study was on the effects of laboratory investigations from the Alabama Math Science Technology Initiative on student achievement. And I am at the University of North Alabama. This is for class EDS 702 with Dr. Matthew Campbell. So, um, the Alabama Math Science Technology Initiative is actually referred to as AMSTI, and what it is Alabama Department of Education's initiative to improve teaching in science, technology, engineering, and math, which is referred to as STEM, by supporting Alabama educators and students. And so, what AMSTI does is it teaches or it informs and provides professional development for teachers in order to teach these laboratory investigations, and they give for middle schools, they give teachers kits each 9 weeks, so it comes each quarter, so 4 times a year, and the AMSTI universities, the staff bring these kits to the schools, and they replenish the kits, and in the kits are supplies to perform laboratory investigations for the students in rural populations. Well, all over the state, but specifically the school where this study was done was in a rural setting. The core beliefs of the program is to ensure opportunities for all students to learn science. So no matter what the budget is like for that specific school, whether it's a school like Vestavia in Birmingham or a very small school in Greene County that doesn't have funding as well as some other schools. What AMSI is trying to do is provide an equal playing field for all students and provide services for every student in the state of Alabama to learn science in a quality manner. So they deliver content and pedagogical knowledge and resources informed by evidence of effective practices. So the people behind the scenes at AMSI look and see what the best practices are, what the best curriculum is to learn science, and then they use that information to use in professional development for teachers, and that's where the teachers learn how to use these kits. They maintain high expectations for staff and stakeholders. AMSI also believes in building sustainability and connecting STEM providers in Alabama communities, and the main belief is to learn by doing, and that's for staff and students. So, an issue with AMSTI is it's in jeopardy when budget hearings are being held for where money is being allocated for education in the state of Alabama. So, AMSTI does provide teachers with training and students with resource, but it comes to a cost to the state. And in 2009, total funding for AMSTI program was $46 million and is often a topic, like I said, of discussion regarding budget cuts. So since AMSTI began in 2002, the funding for AMSTI has diminished and the program is no longer fully funded. And this lack of funding causes the program to become less effective, causing test scores to drop. So the purpose of this study is because of the threat of losing funding, it's important to provide evidence indicating that there is still a need for the AMSTI program in Alabama. So, like I said, the purpose of the study is to show the effectiveness of using laboratory investigations on student achievement due to the supplies funded by the AMSTI program. So I'm trying to show that we do need to still fund this program because it is so beneficial to not only students on their achievement, but also for teachers and schools who might otherwise not be able to afford the supplies that AMSTI provides. So to test this purpose and to explore the problem, the methodology of the study was decided on based on previous research using other quantitative studies. So specifically, previous research suggests that student achievement, specifically student achievement of girls in rural settings, that student achievement is there's a significant increase in student achievement when labs or AMSTyle labs are utilized to teach certain objectives. So it's predicted in this study that the use of AMSTyle hands-on activities will have a positive impact on student achievement. Therefore, the null hypothesis states that there's not a significant difference between the pre-test given before the AMSTyle laboratory investigations and the post-test given after the use of the AMSTyle laboratory investigations. So the students that were tested, there were 53 eighth grade students. 22 of those were male and 31 were female. They were divided into 4 different classes, and all achievement levels were represented in each class. And the setting, again, was in a rural school in Alabama. And as I said before, previous research indicates that specifically girls in rural settings, their achievement on tests compared to comparing pre-test and post-test, the girls' student achievement increased significantly. So testing the null hypothesis. So to test the null hypothesis, a qualitative study was performed, and so a pretest was given, and that pretest tested student achievement level, and it was measured using an assessment before the AMSTyle laboratory investigations were used to teach the objectives. And this assessment was provided by AMSTyle. The assessment that was used was the one that was provided by AMSTyle. So then students participated in laboratory investigations to learn the objectives that would be assessed in the pretest and the post-test. And then after the laboratory investigations were conducted, the students were then given a post-test to measure their achievement after they performed the labs. And then so the achievement level scores on the pretest and the post-test, they were graded in a computerized manner in order to reduce bias, and those results of the pretest and post-test were compared using a t-test per independent sample with a significance level of 0.05 in order to test the null hypothesis, and then Microsoft Excel was used to calculate the statistics. So the results and findings, so as you can see, there's a large difference in the test from the pretest and the assessment of student achievement in the post-test. So specifically, the t-test value of the scores is negative 19.5, and the p-value was less than 0.0001. So the result of the t-test shows that there is a significant difference in the scores of the pretest and the post-test. So the pretest, the mean of the pretest was 42 with a significant difference, which is seen in this bar, of 14.1. The average or mean of the post-test was 91 with a standard deviation of 11.6, which is seen in this bar. And I may have said something else, but this is the standard deviation bar of the pretest, but that's 14.1. So using the t-test, we decided to reject the null hypothesis because there is a significant difference between the means of the pretest and the post-test. Again, the t-value of the scores was negative 19.51981, and so therefore, because the result is significant at p, which is less than 0.05, we rejected our null hypothesis, and that suggests that the AMSTyle laboratory investigations increased the levels of student achievement. So again, each year funding for AMSTyle is in jeopardy because it has decreased since the program began in 2002. So the most important result of this study is finding that there is a significant difference on student achievement shown through test scores before the use of AMSTyle laboratory investigations are used, and then after AMSTyle laboratory investigations are used. So the results of this study showing that the student achievement benefits from the use of AMSTyle laboratory investigations suggest that the program is worth funding and supporting for our students in Alabama. And then there are still limitations to this study. So, and then we need to think about future study. So the further research that would be beneficial to supplement this study would be an experiment that used a control group to compare the experimental group, which wasn't really done in the study that I did. So what would be interesting to see in the future would be a control group in which the control group of students only received lecture, while the experimental group will be able to um, receive the teaching through AMSTyle labs, and then comparing the control group to the experimental group to see if because we know that AMSTyle labs increase student achievement, but it would be interesting to see if lecture only also increased student achievement, and if there would be a significant difference between lecture only and then using AMSTyle labs. So thank you for listening about my study. I really enjoyed doing this because AMSTI is really important to me, because I definitely utilize their labs almost every day, if not every day, definitely every week in my classroom. And my students really love doing these labs. It actually helps with classroom management because there's always something to be doing in class. And like I said, the students really love this. So I really do believe that it opens the students' eyes to science and doing science, and it gets them excited about science. So, like I said, AMSTI is very important to me, and I think it would be a huge detriment to our state and in education in our state if we lost funding for this. But thank you again for listening about my study, and here are my references. Have a good day.